Yo guys, welcome to the last lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Let's do Equal Machinery now, the final part of the podcast.
Indeed.
Do you want to explain the format to the audience and to Hayden as well?
Yeah, what is Equal Machinery?
You got a Scooby, mate.
Well,
You're in for a treat, my man.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the segment of the pod. Not the show. Well, the show as well. This is the segment of the pod.
Shod. The shoddy poddy. That's back marketing for
That's
you.
also back marketing. Yeah. And not very shoddy at all. This is the segment of the pod where we are allocated a driver each, and we basically have to argue that in Equal Machinery, our driver would win today.
Okay.
So you will get a driver, I get a driver. You get a driver, it's allocated by our lovely producer, Lewis. Shout out Lou over there.
Lewis.
And then at the end, it's basically, we have to argue whether we believe it or not, and then at the end, we'll guess whether we actually believe what we were saying.
Who's the best at waffling? I like it.
Who's the best at waffling?
Well, you've got a minute, so you can't spend too much time. But it was fun last week, actually, with Matt. He was... that was the longest minute of my life.
He's got a lot of practice supporting Daniel Ricciardo the last season, so there's a lot of defence that
And we gave him Oscar Piastri, which is quite funny. So, I have been allocated, and again, we're talking today.
I've had some
This
stinks
is quite
the last
interesting.
2 weeks, by the way.
So I've been given Mark Webber.
Okay.
Weber.
Niran, you got Nico Hulkenberg. And Hayden, you've got Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricardo. Okay.
Danny Avocado. I went first last time, so one of you two can go first. I'll let you pick Niran.
I'm going to pass over to
Of course, I knew that.
Think about it.
You did that last time.
There's less to think about with Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay, so in 2023, why is Daniel Ricciardo clear of Nico Hulkenberg and Mark Webber in 3, 2, 1, go?
Well, I mean, Daniel Ricciardo, I feel like, has achieved a lot more than Mark Webber in a Red Bull. I also feel like he's actually won races, unlike Nico Hulkenberg. So there's two clear examples right there. We forget about 2022. He still won a race in 2021. 2022 is just chilling, a lot of relaxing going on, a lot of politics at McLaren. I feel like they just liked Lando Norris a lot more, so they weren't really too worried. They were like, well, hang on, wait, we've got a second car? Oh, wait. So that's obviously what happened last year with Daniel Ricciardo.
But millions.
We go past that, I think 2014. Best driver on the grid that season. Absolutely smashed it.
9 years ago,
I think he's got 8 or 9 race wins. Looking back at his race wins that he's got. Monaco, very strong driver at Monaco as well. And I think in Equal Machinery, it's a given that... Huh?
Sorry, carry on. You've got 10 seconds left.
I think in Equal Machinery, it's a given that Daniel Ricciardo is such a stronger driver than Mark Webber and Nico Hulkenberg.
That'll do.
We've got 3 seconds.
Yeah.
He's stronger.
He's got a big neck.
He's got a big neck.
Thick neck. All right. You'll go next because my driver's not been F1 for years, so I've got work to do.
Yeah.
You'll go next, Nico. At least yours is actually has a seat this year.
Yeah, no, true.
Ready?
Okay, yeah.
Nico Hulkenberg, why is he clear of Ricardo and Webber today? In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Well, obviously we're talking about today, but backstory: this guy was one of the most exciting drivers to come onto the Formula One grid at the time. Sensational junior record, and came in and grabbed a pole in crazy conditions in a Williams in 2010. So already straight off the bat, he's proven that he's a very exciting driver already. There we go. Now I know, obviously, look. The podium situation was tough, but he's never really had a chance. He's never been in a car that's actually been good enough to achieve a podium. And the fact that he's even come close to podiums on multiple occasions shows that he can extract the most out of any car on any given day. That's Sauber in like the Indian Grand Prix getting like 4th or some shit in like 2013. How is he even extracting that much out of that car realistically? Force India, bang average, constantly beating Paul di Resta. He's always had the better over his teammate in whatever car he's been in. Probably. And he's jumped into an Aston Martin or any car and slapped it.
Stop.
With no practice.
I'm surprised,
Recently.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the Racing Point stand-in.
You kind of forgot that.
2020.
To be honest with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that'd have
I
been
forgot
The Racing Point. That car just it doesn't exist in my brain anymore for some reason. But yeah.
not bad. But you're about to get destroyed.
Do you remember who Mark Webber was?
This is why. This is why Mark Webber is clear of Daniel Ricciardo, his countryman, and Nico Hulkenberg today. I'm sure I remember hearing a quote from Sebastian Vettel saying Mark Webber was the strongest driver he ever went against in the same machinery.
Fake news.
Quite recently. Might not be true, but regardless, I'm not going to talk about the past anymore. I'm going to talk about today. He is Oscar Piastri's agent. Do you have any idea? He basically sees himself in Oscar, if not, Oscar's probably a bit more talented, we'll say. And that's going to rejuvenate, that's going to bring out this side of Mark Webber, even though he's in his 40s now. Trust me, Mark Webber does not faff about, right? He's Aussie grit for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Mark Webber is unreal. He went toe-to-toe with Vettel and got... Okay, he did well twice of those 4 seasons.
Okay, yeah.
And now it's like he is now Oscar Piastri. So basically everything Oscar does is through Mark Webber. So I feel like when Oscar Piastri destroys Lando Norris in 2023, it will actually be because of Mark Webber. Done.
So your argument is that Mark Webber is Oscar Piastri. Not even
he's
an effect on he physically
Exactly.
is the same. Right, okay.
He's like living vicariously through Oscar Piastri. You know, it's kind of like VR. It's VR. So when Oscar's racing, Mark's in like Brisbane on his sim racing, and then Oscar's in the car, but Mark's actually controlling it.
Oscar's just a robot, so he's not actually a real person.
Yeah, they swapped him out.
Mark is just literally, he's got
Well,
the
no,
controls,
because
VR, he's driving for...
Oscar's still in the Alpine dungeon.
Yeah, but-
they didn't let him out.
Okay.
So
it's
now
just
they've got a body double that is
There's a robot.
functioning
so
as
they can
Mark
control.
Webber. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Mark
we
Webber
will see in
could just be a stunt
2023.
double, to be fair. We don't
They look
know.
exactly the same,
He has the
yeah.
helmet on, so we can't see when
I
he's
think
like...
I've made a very yeah, exactly. Who would know? You know, I make a very you know,
Like,
like
Mark Webber's bare tall. I don't think Oscar Piastri is tall at all.
one day, like it would take the helmet off, but the actual head will come off as well, and then just be standing there, and everyone will be like,
Oh my God.
magician. Okay, so what do we actually think then?
I mean, one of your points was that Vettel said that Mark Webber was the best driver he raced against in equal machinery. Daniel Ricciardo beat him in 2014. Yours was that Nico Hulkenberg beat every driver he's gone up against. He lost to Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. So, I mean...
Oh, yeah. Honestly, Nico Hulkenberg in a Renault, that's crazy.
It's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah,
Yo.
and I think Checo beat him a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. When I said that, I was just like, I hope they don't do their research. Like, I was just.
All right. Well, what we honestly saying in machinery today, because I think it is very funny, Lewis, Mark Webber in there, but it's between Nico and Daniel.
I don't know. I'll put some respect on Mark Webber. I think Sebastian Vettel was incredibly strong when he was winning.
No, but we're
titles.
talking today in 2023.
I know.
If we're talking
today,
prime,
it is easy.
He's a Channel 4 merchant now.
Yeah,
so,
it is easy
you know.
today. Like he's going to jump in the car and he's not going to fit.
Channel 4,
But
So you don't believe what you were?
No, I don't believe. No,
that's a
funnily
shame.
enough.
That's a shame.
I don't believe that Oscar Piastri is an android controlled by Mark Webber. No,
I hope
funnily
you did.
enough,
I hope she did.
I don't believe that.
Would have been a clip if
Yeah.
you did. That's what I'm saying.
I think the clip's done. Nico and Daniel, 2023. Obviously, Daniel's coming off a very poor season, but he's shown higher highs. Nico has always kind of been in midfield with machinery, so podium opportunities would always have had to rely on luck, things outside of his control going right for him to convert a podium. So I think that is an unfair, log to.
I think that is always an unfair comparison. I think you've got to also, Daniel's coming off the back of a poor season, but Nico isn't the same driver he was, say, 6 or 7 years ago in the Force India.
I think he's still a strong driver. When he jumped in for Racing Point, when he jumped in last season with Aston Martin, just jumped in and he was quick. He beat Lance Stroll in qualifying, I think, on both occasions.
I think one of them he did, yeah.
One of them? I thought, maybe, no, yeah.
Prop your boy, come on.
All right, well, I mean, I got enough slander that I've stayed in the memory. But I think he is strong when he comes in. Like, I have always rated Nico Hulkenberg over the years when he came in. 2010, got that pole position in Brazil. Did it before Kevin Magnussen.
He was the originator.
He was the originator. Yeah. And then, he's had all these different close shaves with a podium. But I think as a driver who is going to get you across the line and get you the race wins, get you podiums, Ricardo's done it. He's proved that he can do it. And maybe Nico Hulkenberg, under that pressure, just kind of collapses a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd pick Ricardo, I think.
You're picking Ricardo?
Pick Ricardo.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Ricardo as well. I can't lie. Big ups Nico Hulkenberg. I do love you. And I do genuinely think he has been so unlucky to not. I think again that podium is an unfair thing to bash him with because he's just never had the machinery to compete
Context
for it,
is important.
like consistently at all, like at any point during his career. And I think he does always extract the most out of that car when he's in a Sauber, when he was in the Force India, the original one, the Racing Point. I think he's solid, but just because Daniel Ricciardo had a poor season last season does not mean he's not the same driver that he was.
McLaren's a weird car.
Well, he's coming in at Red Bull halfway through this season, so.
Well, and then we will judge. Then we'll see.
So who are you picking? Ricardo?
Ricardo, yeah.
Ricardo.
Yeah.
Clean sweep, Daniel Ricardo.
Hat trick, baby.
See him back on the grid soon. Maybe in an Andretti.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All-American team, and he's pretty much an all-American driver,
he's
isn't
an
he?
honorary American driver. Yeah,
exactly.
Have a cowboy hat on over the helmet, sorted.
They've got to reenact it next year. The horse at Austin.
When they
Red
announced
Bull horse.
When they announced
Red Bull
that
horse.
Andretti Cadillac are coming in, it's just Daniel Ricciardo on a horse. Be like, I'm back, bitches.
3 Cadillacs just like behind him in the
Yes.
shot. Oh, man.
Lassuing people, just put them in.
That makes so much sense.
That would be
As a
so
marketing actor,
sick,
just do it for the marketing activation.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Andretti. By the way,
Even if not, just do it for fun.
Yeah.
Even if you're not coming into the sport.
April Fools.
Yeah.
April Troll, just to wind everyone up. That's a great April Fool.
sensational.